Most families do not waste money because they buy a bad SUV. They waste money because they buy the wrong kind of SUV. They pay for a third row that no adult can comfortably use. They finance luxury features while sacrificing cargo space. They choose a powerful engine, then spend years complaining about fuel costs. Or they buy the cheapest model available, only to replace it 3 years later because their family has already outgrown it. That is the uncomfortable truth about family SUVs. The monthly payment is only one part of the cost. You also need to consider fuel, insurance, maintenance, depreciation, passenger space, cargo capacity, and whether the vehicle will still fit your life 5 or 10 years from now. A family SUV is not worth the money simply because it has 3 rows. That third row needs to be accessible. Children need enough room. Adults should be able to survive more than a 20-minute ride. You need cargo space when every seat is occupied. And the vehicle should not become financially painful the moment the warranty expires. Today, we are ranking 7 family SUVs that are actually worth your money. We are comparing the Infiniti QX60, Kia Sorento, Mazda CX-90, Hyundai Santa Fe, Kia Telluride, Toyota Highlander Hybrid, and Honda Pilot. Every vehicle on this list has real strengths, but they do not offer the same kind of value. One gives you luxury, but asks you to pay luxury prices long after the purchase. Another delivers impressive efficiency, but its third row is more useful for occasional passengers than full-time family duty. And the number one SUV is not the most fuel-efficient or the most luxurious. It wins because it provides the kind of space, simplicity, and everyday usability that families actually need. Let's begin. Number 7. Infiniti QX60. At number 7 is the Infiniti QX60. And before luxury SUV owners get angry, let me explain. The QX60 is not a bad family vehicle. It is comfortable, it is quiet, it offers 3 rows of seating. The interior feels noticeably more premium than what you will find in most mainstream SUVs. And when properly equipped, it can tow significantly more than many crossovers in this category. But this ranking is not about which SUV feels most expensive. It is about which one gives a family the greatest return for every dollar spent. That is where the QX60 becomes difficult to justify. You are paying a luxury purchase price. You may pay more for insurance. Replacement tires can be expensive, especially on versions with larger wheels. Headlights, cameras, sensors, and interior electronics can cost more to replace than similar components on a Honda, Toyota, or Kia. And the depreciation can be painful. A luxury badge creates an attractive experience when the vehicle is new. But it does not guarantee that the vehicle will retain its value better than a mainstream family SUV. In fact, depreciation may become one of the QX60's largest ownership costs. This is something buyers often overlook. They spend hours comparing fuel economy, trying to determine which vehicle will save them a few $100s per year. Then they lose thousands more through depreciation. A vehicle can be reliable and still become expensive to own if its value falls quickly. The QX60's cabin is one of its strongest features. The first and second rows are comfortable. The materials feel premium, the ride is refined, and the vehicle does a good job of isolating passengers from road noise. For families spending hours on the highway, that comfort has real value. Children can sleep more easily. Adults arrive less tired, and long trips feel less like work. But the third row is not as spacious as what you will find in the largest vehicles later in this ranking. It can carry children without much difficulty. Adults can use it for shorter trips. But if you plan to transport 7 people regularly, the QX60 may begin to feel smaller than its exterior dimensions suggest. Cargo space also becomes limited when all 3 rows are occupied. That is a common problem in this segment. A dealership demonstrates the third row and tells you the vehicle seats 7. But nobody asks where the luggage for those 7 people is supposed to go. A 3-row SUV is not automatically a practical road trip vehicle. You need to test the exact configuration. Bring the stroller. Bring the child seat. Open the third row. Imagine loading groceries, sports equipment, and travel bags. Do not let polished leather distract you from the actual packaging. The powertrain also adds another consideration. The current QX60 uses a turbocharged engine. A turbocharger can provide strong torque from a relatively small engine, helping the SUV move confidently without using a larger power plant. But turbochargers operate under heat and pressure. They depend heavily on clean oil. And if one eventually needs replacement after the warranty expires, the repair can be expensive. That does not mean the engine is unreliable. It means the ownership equation is different from a naturally aspirated engine with fewer high-pressure components. The QX60 makes the most sense for a family that genuinely values refinement, someone who wants a quieter cabin, someone who plans to tow, someone who appreciates luxury materials enough to accept higher running costs, and someone who may purchase a certified used example after the largest period of depreciation has already occurred. That last strategy can dramatically improve the value. Buying a new luxury SUV means absorbing the most aggressive years of depreciation. Buying a carefully inspected used example can allow another owner to absorb that loss for you. But for the average family focused on space, ownership costs, and long-term practicality, the QX60 is difficult to recommend over the vehicles ahead of it. It ranks 7th because it delivers a premium experience. Unfortunately, it also delivers premium expenses. Number 6. Kia Sorento. At number 6 is the Kia Sorento, and this SUV could either be one of the smartest purchases on the list or one of the most disappointing. It depends entirely on how you plan to use the third row. The Sorento occupies an unusual position. It is larger and more versatile than a normal two-row compact SUV, but it is smaller and easier to drive than vehicles such as the Telluride, Pilot, or Highlander. That makes it attractive for families that want occasional third-row seating without owning a large SUV every day. The key word is occasional. The Sorrento's third row can be useful for children. It can help when a friend needs a ride. It can carry additional relatives across town. But it is not the ideal place for adults during a long road trip. Access can also become inconvenient when child seats are installed in the second row, and when all 3 rows are occupied, cargo space becomes limited. That means the Sorento works best for a family of 4 or 5 that sometimes needs additional seats. It is less convincing for a family that needs 6 or 7 seats every day. This distinction is critical. Families often buy more vehicle than they need because they imagine every possible situation. They think about the 1 week each year when relatives visit. They think about a vacation that may happen once every 2 years. Then they spend the remaining 95% of their time driving a large, thirsty SUV with empty seats. The Sorento gives buyers a more efficient compromise. It provides 3 rows without becoming excessively large. It is easier to park. It consumes less space in a garage, and depending on the powertrain, it can deliver better fuel economy than larger alternatives. Kia offers the Sorento with several different powertrain choices. That gives buyers flexibility. It also creates confusion. There are regular gasoline versions, more powerful turbocharged configurations, hybrid versions, and plug-in hybrid versions. The correct choice depends on your driving habits. The regular gasoline version is usually the simplest and most affordable entry point. The turbocharged version provides stronger acceleration and more towing capability, but it adds heat and mechanical pressure. The hybrid can make sense for families spending significant time in city traffic. The plug-in hybrid can reduce gasoline use dramatically when it is charged consistently. But buying the most advanced version does not automatically mean you are buying the best value. A hybrid costs more initially. A plug-in hybrid costs even more and requires dependable charging to provide its full benefit. Someone who drives limited annual mileage may never recover the additional purchase price through fuel savings. Someone who drives 20,000 miles per year in urban traffic might recover it much faster. This is why the dealership should never perform the calculation for you. Write down your actual mileage. Separate city driving from highway driving. Compare the purchase price. Estimate how long you will own the SUV. Then determine whether the fuel savings justify the additional cost. The Sorrento's warranty is one of its strongest arguments. For an original owner planning to keep the vehicle for many years, the long powertrain coverage provides valuable protection. But buyers need to understand the details. Not every component is covered for 10 years. Normal wear is not covered. And warranty coverage may change for later owners. A 10-year headline is reassuring. The complete warranty document is what actually matters. Technology is another major advantage. The Sorento offers a modern interior, large displays, driver assistance features, and available comfort equipment that can make it feel more expensive than it is. But heavily optioned trims can quickly move into the price range of larger SUVs. That creates an important question. Would you rather have the highest trim of a smaller Sorento or a mid-level version of a more spacious Telluride or Pilot? Families should prioritize what cannot be added later. You can install better floor mats, you can upgrade speakers, you can add roof storage. You cannot easily increase third-row legroom or create more cargo space behind the rear seats. The Sorento makes the most sense in a sensible mid-level configuration. Avoid paying for every luxury option. Choose the powertrain that matches your actual mileage, and treat the third row as a backup rather than the primary seating area. Under those conditions, it can be an excellent value. But because its biggest advantage is also its largest compromise, it ranks 6th. It gives you 3 rows in a manageable package. It does not give you the full space of a true family-size SUV. Number 5. Mazda CX-90. At number 5 is the Mazda CX-90, and this may be the most enjoyable SUV to drive in the entire ranking. The CX-90 approaches the family SUV formula differently. Many 3-row vehicles are designed to feel soft, isolated and predictable. Mazda wanted the CX-90 to feel more balanced, more responsive and more premium. The steering feels more connected. The rear-biased platform creates a different driving character, and the interior design can compete visually with SUVs that cost significantly more. For a parent who still enjoys driving, the CX-90 is extremely appealing. It does not feel like the vehicle was designed only to transport children and groceries, but family value is about more than driving enjoyment. The CX-90's powertrain choices are more complicated than those of several competitors. The regular version uses a turbocharged inline-6 engine with a mild hybrid system. Mazda also offers a plug-in hybrid. The inline-6 sounds attractive because 6-cylinder engines are normally associated with smooth power delivery. But this is not an old-fashioned, mechanically simple engine. It uses turbocharging, hybrid assistance, modern electronics, and a sophisticated transmission. The plug-in hybrid adds a larger battery, charging hardware, and an electric motor. Both systems can provide strong performance. Both also contain more technology than a traditional naturally aspirated V6. That does not mean they will fail. It means long-term ownership involves more uncertainty and potentially higher repair costs. The CX-90 is also relatively new compared with nameplates such as the Pilot or Highlander. Mazda can test a vehicle extensively before production, but real-world ownership reveals issues that laboratory testing cannot fully reproduce. Thousands of families drive through different climates. They tow. They idle in traffic. They miss maintenance. They drive through salt, heat, snow, and humidity. That population-level evidence takes years to develop. Cautious buyers should not automatically assume that a new platform has the same long-term record as an older, established model. Interior quality is where the CX-90 begins recovering points. The cabin feels special. Materials in higher trims are impressive. The dashboard is clean, and the seating position makes the vehicle feel more premium than the average mainstream SUV. A family that wants near-luxury quality without purchasing a luxury badge may find strong value here. But the packaging is not perfect. The exterior is large, yet the third row and cargo area do not always feel as generous as the dimensions suggest. The long hood, rear drive proportions and styling choices consume space that could have been used more efficiently. That is the trade-off between design and pure practicality. The Honda Pilot looks less elegant, but more of its exterior size is dedicated to passengers and cargo. The Mazda looks more athletic, but families may notice that difference when loading luggage behind the third row. Seating configuration matters too. Some CX-90 versions offer captain's chairs. Others provide a second-row bench. Captain's chairs make third-row access easier and give passengers more personal space. But they reduce total seating capacity and remove the middle second-row position. A bench can be more useful for families with several children. It can also allow part of the third row to remain folded for cargo. Before choosing, think about your normal passenger arrangement. Do not select captain's chairs only because they look luxurious in the showroom. The plug-in hybrid deserves separate attention. For a family with home charging and a predictable daily routine, it can complete shorter trips using electricity. That can reduce gasoline consumption during school runs, commuting and local errands. But its electric range is not large enough to replace gasoline on every journey. And when the battery is depleted, The gasoline engine still needs to move a heavy 3-row vehicle. The PHEV works best when charged regularly. Without charging, you carry additional weight without receiving the full benefit. The inline-6 version may make more sense for highway driving, towing, and buyers who do not want to plug in. The plug-in may make more sense for suburban families with short daily trips and home charging. Neither is automatically the correct choice. The CX-90 ranks 5th because it gives families something rare: a 3-row SUV with genuine personality. It feels premium, it drives well, and it can tow up to 5,000 pounds in properly equipped inline-6 configurations. But its powertrains are complicated, the platform is still relatively young, and its interior packaging is not as efficient as the best family vehicles. Buy it because you value how it feels. Do not buy it under the assumption that premium design automatically creates better family value. Number 4. Hyundai Santa Fe Hybrid. At number 4 is the Hyundai Santa Fe Hybrid, and this may be the most creative use of interior space in the ranking. The latest Santa Fe uses a boxier shape than previous generations. Some people love the design, others do not. But from a family perspective, the shape has an important advantage. A box provides space. The tall roof helps create useful headroom. The upright rear section improves cargo practicality, and the wide opening makes it easier to load strollers, bags, and larger items. The Santa Fe now offers 3 rows. But like the Sorento, it should not be confused with a full-size people carrier. The 3rd row works best for children or occasional adult use. It provides more flexibility than a 2-row SUV. It does not provide the same long-trip comfort as the Pilot or Telluride. The Santa Fe makes the most sense for a family that normally uses 2 rows but wants extra seats when needed. Its hybrid powertrain is one of its biggest advantages. The system combines a turbocharged gasoline engine, electric assistance, and a conventional automatic transmission. That gives the Santa Fe a driving experience that feels more familiar than some power-split hybrids. You feel actual gear changes. The electric motor improves low-speed response, and the fuel economy is strong for a 3-row vehicle. Front-wheel drive versions can return fuel economy figures that would have been difficult to imagine from a family SUV several years ago. But the system is not mechanically simple. There is a turbocharger, a conventional transmission, an electric motor, a high-voltage battery, and hybrid control electronics. The engineering can work smoothly. Long-term owners still need to maintain multiple major systems. Oil changes are especially important because the turbocharger depends on clean lubrication. Transmission fluid also matters. Hybrid status does not eliminate conventional mechanical maintenance. The warranty provides additional reassurance. Hyundai offers long powertrain and hybrid battery coverage for eligible original owners. That can reduce financial anxiety during the first decade. But as with Kia, buyers should read the details. The basic warranty is shorter than the powertrain warranty. Electronics and convenience equipment are not necessarily covered for the same period, and subsequent owners may not receive identical powertrain coverage. The warranty is a major advantage. It should not be treated as a promise that every component will remain free from problems. The interior technology is impressive. Large displays, available cameras, driver assistance systems, convenient storage areas, and family-friendly design touches make the Santa Fe feel thoughtfully designed. But technology needs to remain usable. A screen should not force the driver to navigate several menus to adjust a basic function. A camera is valuable. 20 animations during startup are not. Before buying, spend time using the controls. Do not let the salesperson demonstrate everything. Sit alone in the vehicle. Connect your phone. Adjust the climate system. Fold the seats. Move between the rows. Load items into the cargo area. Test how the SUV fits your actual routine. The Santa Fe's value is strongest in the hybrid configuration for city and suburban families. It delivers useful space without the fuel consumption of a larger V6 SUV. It provides a 3rd row without becoming as difficult to park as the biggest vehicles here. And the warranty gives new buyers meaningful protection. But it ranks 4th because the 3rd row remains an occasional use space, and the hybrid powertrain is more mechanically complicated than Toyota's system. For a family of 4 that occasionally carries 6 people, the Santa Fe Hybrid could be the best purchase in the ranking. For a family that uses every seat daily, the next 3 vehicles make more sense. Number 3. Kia Telluride. At number 3 is the Kia Telluride. The Telluride changed what families expected from a mainstream SUV. Before it arrived, buyers often believed they needed a luxury badge to receive an attractive cabin, comfortable seats, and premium-looking design. The Telluride challenged that assumption. It offered 3 genuinely useful rows, a strong V6 engine, modern technology, and a cabin that looked more expensive than the price suggested. That combination made it extremely popular, and popularity created a problem. For several years, some buyers paid substantial dealer markups. A vehicle cannot be considered great value when the buyer pays thousands above a reasonable price. The Telluride makes sense when purchased near a fair market value. It becomes much less attractive when emotion and limited inventory inflate the transaction. This is one of the most important lessons in the entire ranking. A great SUV can become a bad deal. The model does not determine value by itself. The purchase price does. The Telluride's greatest strength is passenger space. The first 2 rows are comfortable. The third row is more useful than the small emergency seats found in the Sorento or Santa Fe. Adults can use it for more than a quick trip across town. Children have enough space to remain comfortable. And access is relatively straightforward, especially with second-row captain's chairs. Cargo space is also more useful than in smaller 3-row SUVs. You can carry passengers and still have room for groceries or smaller luggage. For a long family vacation, you may still want a roof box or external carrier. But the Telluride is much closer to being a genuine 7- or 8-person vehicle. The naturally aspirated V6 is another advantage. It does not depend on a turbocharger. Power delivery is smooth and predictable. The engine has enough strength to move a fully loaded SUV without feeling constantly stressed. And properly equipped versions can tow useful recreational loads. The downside is fuel economy. A V6 moving a large, box-shaped vehicle will consume more gasoline than a Highlander hybrid or Santa Fe hybrid. That difference becomes significant for high-mileage families. Imagine 2 owners. One drives 8,000 miles per year. The other drives 20,000. The Telluride's fuel consumption may be a manageable expense for the first owner. For the second, it could add thousands of dollars during the ownership period. The correct question is not whether the Telluride uses too much fuel. The question is how much fuel your driving pattern will require. The warranty remains a strong selling point. Kia's long powertrain coverage protects eligible original owners, but again, verify the terms. A used Telluride may not carry identical coverage, and the basic warranty for electronics and other systems ends earlier than the powertrain coverage. Technology is another consideration. The Telluride can be equipped with numerous cameras, displays, powered seats, sunroofs, and driver assistance systems. These features make family travel easier. A surround view camera can be genuinely useful in a large SUV. Rear climate controls matter. USB ports throughout the cabin reduce arguments, but the highest trim can become expensive. At some point, the Telluride stops competing with mainstream SUVs and begins approaching luxury SUV pricing. That is where the value weakens. The smartest Telluride is usually not the cheapest trim or the most expensive one. It is the version that includes the family features you will use without adding every cosmetic option. Prioritize seating configuration, climate control, safety equipment, visibility, and practical technology. Do not spend thousands simply to obtain larger wheels, decorative trim, or features that impress passengers for 5 minutes. The Telluride ranks third because it is one of the best vehicles for families that genuinely use 3 rows. It is spacious, comfortable, powerful enough, and easier to recommend than smaller SUVs pretending to be full-size family vehicles. But its fuel consumption and potentially inflated transaction prices prevent it from ranking higher. Number 2, Toyota Highlander Hybrid. At number 2 is the Toyota Highlander Hybrid, and this may be the most financially intelligent SUV in the ranking. Toyota combines a naturally aspirated gasoline engine with electric motors and a planetary power split system. There is no conventional turbocharger. There is no traditional automatic transmission shifting through 8 or 10 gears. The system continuously balances gasoline and electric power. That helps the Highlander Hybrid deliver fuel economy near what some smaller 2-row SUVs achieve. For a family covering significant annual mileage, that difference can become enormous. Consider a parent who drives to work every day, then drives children to school, sports practice, medical appointments, shopping, and weekend activities. A family SUV can accumulate 15 or 20,000 miles per year without ever taking a major road trip. At that mileage, fuel economy matters much more than it does for someone who works from home. The Highlander Hybrid can reduce one of the largest recurring expenses associated with a three-row SUV. Its resale value is another major advantage. Toyota family vehicles often remain desirable even after accumulating substantial mileage. That helps owners in several ways. If your life changes, you may be able to sell the vehicle without losing as much money. If the Highlander needs an expensive repair later, its remaining value can make the repair financially reasonable. And if you keep it for many years, strong demand may still provide a meaningful return when you eventually sell it. But the Highlander Hybrid is not perfect. Its third row is the largest compromise. Children can use it. Smaller adults can tolerate it. But it is less spacious than the third row in the Honda Pilot or Kia Telluride. Legroom is limited. Access can become difficult. And cargo space behind the third row is not especially generous. That creates the same question we asked with the Sorento and Santa Fe. How often will you use every seat? For a family of 4 or 5 that occasionally transports additional people, the Highlander is excellent. You can keep the third row folded most of the time and enjoy a large cargo area. When relatives visit, you have additional seating. But a family of 7 using every seat daily may find the Highlander too compromised. Fuel savings cannot create physical space. The hybrid powertrain also has characteristics that some drivers dislike. Under hard acceleration, the engine may rise to a steady speed and remain there. The sound can feel disconnected from the vehicle's movement. Traditional automatic transmissions shift, causing the engine note to rise and fall. Toyota's system does not operate that way. Some owners become accustomed to it quickly. Others continue noticing it years later. A test drive should include aggressive acceleration. Do not drive only through a quiet neighborhood. Merge onto a highway, climb a hill, load passengers. Hear how the engine behaves when the vehicle is working hard. A powertrain can be reliable and efficient, but you still need to enjoy living with it. The Highlander also offers gasoline versions with more towing capability. The hybrid is usually the better choice for efficiency. It may not be the best configuration for frequent heavy towing. Families pulling larger trailers should examine the limits carefully instead of assuming every Highlander is equally capable. The interior is practical rather than dramatic. Controls are generally easy to understand. Visibility is good. Storage areas are useful. And the cabin does not attempt to feel like a nightclub. Some buyers will consider that boring. Parents trying to adjust the temperature while driving may consider it intelligent. The Highlander Hybrid takes second place because it offers one of the strongest long-term financial packages. Excellent fuel economy for the size. Mature hybrid engineering. Strong resale value. And enough flexibility for many families. But it does not win because its third row is not truly competitive with the most spacious vehicles in the group. The number 1 SUV gives up fuel economy. In exchange, it provides the space and flexibility that larger families need every single day. Number 1. Honda Pilot. The number 1 family SUV that is actually worth your money is the Honda Pilot, and it wins for a simple reason. It behaves like a vehicle designed by people who understand how families use vehicles. The Pilot does not try to look like a sports car. It does not sacrifice the rear cabin to create dramatic exterior proportions. It does not hide a tiny third row behind a large body. Most of its size is dedicated to people and cargo. That is exactly what a family SUV should do. The Pilot can seat up to 8 passengers depending on the configuration. The third row is genuinely more useful than those in the Sorento, Santa Fe, or Highlander. Adults can sit there. Children have room to grow. And the vehicle works better for families that use every seat regularly. The second row configuration is especially intelligent. Certain versions include a removable center seat. With the seat installed, you have a bench and can carry 8 passengers. Remove it, and you create a passage between 2 outer seats similar to captain's chairs. This provides flexibility that most competitors force you to choose at the dealership. You do not need to permanently sacrifice the middle seat to gain easier third-row access. That flexibility has real value. Imagine a family with 3 children. During normal driving, the second row bench keeps everyone close and leaves the third row folded for cargo. When grandparents visit, the third row can be raised. For a longer trip, the center seat can be removed to improve access. One vehicle adapts to several passenger arrangements. That is more useful than a large screen or decorative interior lighting. Cargo space is another major advantage. The pilot provides a large storage area when the seats are folded. More importantly, it retains useful cargo space behind the third row. That means a family can carry several passengers without immediately losing the ability to transport luggage or groceries. There is also a hidden storage compartment beneath the cargo floor. Small items can be kept out of sight. The removable second row center seat can be stored in certain configurations. And the cargo area is shaped for practical use rather than visual drama. These details rarely dominate advertisements. They become important after the purchase. The pilot uses a naturally aspirated V6 engine. Some competitors have replaced larger engines with small turbocharged four-cylinders. Those engines can produce impressive power and fuel economy. But a naturally aspirated V6 offers smooth, predictable performance without depending on turbocharging. The pilot has enough power to merge, pass and carry a full load without feeling overwhelmed. Properly equipped versions can tow up to 5,000 pounds. The engine does not make the pilot fast by performance SUV standards. That is not the objective. It provides the kind of effortless response families need when the vehicle is full. The downside is fuel economy. The pilot cannot match the Highlander hybrid. A family driving high annual mileage will spend more on gasoline. This is the most important argument against placing it first. But value is not determined by fuel alone. A more efficient SUV can become expensive if the family outgrows it. A smaller third row can become frustrating if children use it daily. Limited cargo space can force the purchase of roof boxes, trailers, or another vehicle. The pilot's additional gasoline expense may be justified if its space prevents the family from replacing it prematurely. That is why ownership needs to be viewed as a complete system. The pilot also benefits from mechanical familiarity. Honda has years of experience producing V6 engines and family crossovers. The current transmission and electronics still require proper maintenance. No modern SUV is mechanically basic. But the powertrain avoids the combination of a turbocharger, hybrid battery, and external charging hardware found in some competitors. This can appeal to buyers planning to keep the vehicle for many years. Maintenance is not optional. The transmission fluid needs attention. The all-wheel drive system needs correct service. Timing-related components should be maintained according to Honda's schedule. Oil changes need to happen on time, and a large SUV will eventually require tires, brakes, and suspension components. Reliability does not mean the absence of expenses. It means the major systems have a reasonable chance of remaining economically repairable. The pilot's all-wheel drive system is another strength for families in difficult climates. It can distribute power effectively and provides useful drive modes for snow, trails, sand, and towing, depending on the trim. The Trail Sport version offers additional off-road capability, but most families do not need the Trail Sport. This is where smart purchasing matters again. The rugged model looks appealing. It offers specialized suspension, tires, and equipment, but those features can increase cost and reduce efficiency. A family spending nearly all its time on pavement may receive better value from a normal all-wheel drive trim. Do not buy the most adventurous version because of an imaginary lifestyle. Buy the version designed for the roads you actually use. Technology is strong without completely dominating the experience. The Pilot offers a modern touchscreen, phone connectivity, safety systems, and available camera technology, but the cabin remains relatively straightforward. Important controls are easy to reach, storage is generous, cup holders are everywhere, and the seating position provides good outward visibility. These qualities sound ordinary. That is the point. A family vehicle should make ordinary life easier. It should not require a tutorial every time someone wants to fold a seat. The Pilot also offers strong cargo flexibility for home projects, sports equipment, and travel. Fold the third row. Fold the second row. And the interior becomes large enough to handle items that would force smaller SUV owners to borrow a truck. That versatility can eliminate the need for another vehicle. There are weaknesses. The Pilot is large. Parking in tight urban spaces can be difficult. Fuel economy is average. Higher trims become expensive. And the design may not feel as luxurious as the CX-90 or QX-60. But none of those weaknesses undermine its primary purpose. It is designed to transport a family comfortably and practically. The Pilot wins because it delivers value where families actually use it. Third row space, cargo room, flexible seating, a strong naturally aspirated engine, useful towing capability, good visibility, and a cabin designed around everyday life. It does not win the fuel economy category, it wins the family category. Final verdict. Here is the final ranking. At number 7, the Infiniti QX60. It provides luxury comfort, a quiet cabin and useful towing capability, but its premium purchase price, depreciation and repair costs weaken its family value. At number 6, the Kia Sorento. It offers 3 rows in a manageable and potentially efficient package, but the third row and cargo area work best for occasional use. At number 5, the Mazda CX-90. It delivers premium design and the best driving experience in the ranking, but its complicated powertrains and less efficient interior packaging create important compromises. At number 4, the Hyundai Santa Fe Hybrid. Its boxy design, useful cabin, strong efficiency and warranty make it an excellent choice for families that only occasionally need the third row. At number 3, the Kia Telluride. It provides genuinely useful 3-row space, a smooth V6 and a premium-feeling interior, but fuel costs and excessive dealer pricing can damage the value. At number 2, the Toyota Highlander Hybrid. It offers excellent fuel economy, strong resale value, and mature hybrid engineering. But its smaller third row makes it better for occasional 7 or 8 passenger use. And at number 1, the Honda Pilot. It combines the most useful seating, flexible second-row arrangements, strong cargo capacity, and a powertrain that makes sense for long-term family ownership. But the ranking does not mean every family should buy the Pilot. The correct choice depends on how you live. If you want luxury and can accept higher costs, the QX60 may be worth it. If you need a compact SUV with emergency third-row seating, the Sorento makes sense. If driving enjoyment and premium design matter, choose the CX-90. If efficiency and occasional third-row flexibility are priorities, consider the Santa Fe Hybrid. If you regularly carry 7 or 8 passengers and want a premium cabin, the Telluride is difficult to beat. If you drive high annual mileage and normally use only 2 rows, the Highlander Hybrid may save the most money. And if your family genuinely needs passenger space, cargo room, and flexible seating every day, the Pilot is the strongest overall choice. Before purchasing any 3-row SUV, perform one test. Bring the entire family to the dealership. Install the child seats. Raise the third row. Place everyone in their normal positions. Then open the cargo area. If the stroller, groceries, or luggage no longer fit, the SUV does not meet your needs. Do not purchase it because the screen looks impressive. Do not assume children will remain small forever. And do not finance features while compromising on space that cannot be added later. A family SUV is worth the money when it continues solving problems for 10 years, not when it creates new ones after the first family road trip. Now I want to hear from you. Which family SUV would you buy with your own money? How many passengers do you normally carry? And which vehicle has the most useful third row in your real-world experience? Leave the model, year and mileage in the comments, because in the next video we are comparing 5 SUVs you should test before buying a Toyota RAV4, and one of them may offer more space, better comfort, and a lower price. Los datos actuales de capacidad, configuraciones, garantías y motorizaciones se contrastaron con las fichas oficiales de Honda, Toyota, Hyundai, Kia, Mazda e Infiniti.